Hello everyone, today's model question is regarding thunderstorms and dust storms. Now you all must be knowing these weather events, they are in news. They have caused huge destruction in various parts of India, like in states like Delhi, UP, and Andhra Pradesh and some parts of the northeastern states, right? And for that reason, this topic is very important for your prelims as well as your mains examination from GS3 in disaster management. Anyway, in this video, we'll be covering it from the prelims angle. And before going to the model question, right, let's take a look at what are these thunderstorms. And the first thing that should come to your mind when you hear this term thunderstorm is the cumulonimbus cloud, a fully grown or a mature cumulonimbus cloud producing thunder and lightning, and that we call it as thunderstorms. Now you might wonder, what is this cumulonimbus cloud? Now in this picture you can see a kind of cloud. This particular cloud got a peculiar shape. I mean, if you observe normal clouds, they will appear as sheet or a layer in sky, right? Unlike this, the cumulonimbus cloud, they form starting from the lower troposphere and extend all the way up to the upper troposphere. So this type of cloud, we call it as cumulonimbus cloud. And one of the peculiar features of this cumulonimbus cloud is that they are having vertical development. Now the term vertical development, in the sense vertical means upward and development means formation. Okay, so unlike all the other clouds, they are having the vertical development. Okay, in the sense we are having the air moving upward, creating the cumulonimbus cloud. So in one word, the thunderstorms, they are mature cumulonimbus clouds producing thunder and lightning, right? Now let's take a look at how they are formed. Two very important factors which are necessary for the formation of the thunderstorms, they are adequate amount of moisture, or you can say warm moisture air, right? And the second most important factor is the uplifting mechanism. As we already saw, the cumulonimbus cloud, they need vertical development. I mean, a vertical development in the sense we should be having upward moving wind. Okay, then only a cumulonimbus cloud can form. And as you already saw, the cumulonimbus cloud, they're humongous, right? They must be having more moisture in it. So think about this, upward moving wind carrying warm moisture air will result in the cumulonimbus cloud. And when this cumulonimbus cloud is mature enough, right, it will produce thunder and lightning, and that we call it as like the thunderstorms. And there are, like, as I said, two factors, warm moisture air and uplifting mechanism, right? Now this uplifting mechanism can take place in various ways, right? One of the most important ways is the convective currents. Convection, in the sense, if you are having insolation, right, like the sunlight, right, the sunlight coming from the sun, increasing the temperature throughout the surface, right, what happens is that the air will become warmer, right? Now when the air becomes warmer, it will become lighter and they will rise up. Okay, and on their way up, they will be carrying the warm moisture air along with it, and that will be creating the cumulonimbus clouds. So one way of the upward movement of air can be formed because of the convection, and it's directly related with the sunlight coming from the sun. Okay, and due to this reason, mostly this way of formation of thunderstorms are found during the pre-monsoon period, right? Pre-monsoon in the sense, like from the months of, like, say, March, April or May, we are having more insulation coming from the sun, or more insulation is received by the surface, and that can result in the thunderstorms. Now the next way of formation is in the hilly areas, right? And that we call it as orographic. Orography means mountain ranges or related with the mountains, right? So orography means, think about a wind blowing towards a hill, right? Now through that slope of the hill, these winds, they will be moving upward. Now as the wind move upward, it will be creating like the cumulonimbus cloud, and thereby, like in hilly regions, we are having more tendency for the formation of cumulonimbus clouds, as well as thunderstorms are there, right? So the second way of formation is is orographic, or like in the mountain ranges. Now the third and fourth way of formation, they are more related. They are related with front as well as like convergence. In the sense, if you are having converging winds, if you are having two winds converging, right, in the sense the converging wind, they will always go upward, right? And now as they go upward, it will be creating the cumulonimbus cloud. If you are having a low pressure, right, the low pressure means the tendency is to attract winds, right? The winds are attracted towards this low pressure, and we are having the convergence of wind. Because of that, we will be having the upward moving wind, resulting in the formation of cumulonimbus clouds. Now another way of formation is front. right? One prominent example is the polar front, and I have covered the fronts in some other video, so I am not going into detail regarding the front. For now, just understand that a front is a region having convergence of warm air as well as cold air, right? So when this warm air and cold air, when they converge, what happens is that the warm air will be uplifted, and that can result in the thunderstorms, right? And now this wave formation, the frontal wave formation, is related with the extratropical cyclones, and the convergence, right, it's related with the cyclonic formation, the tropical cyclones, like say cyclone Oki will be producing convergent wave of cumulonimbus clouds, and like an extratropical cyclone taking place in mid latitude regions, right, it will be creating frontal wave of frontal wave formation of thunderstorms. Anyway, remember that for the formation of thunderstorms, two important factors are very important, like the adequate amount of moisture should be there and some kind of uplifting mechanism should be there, right? Now coming back to the effects of thunderstorms, right? Now the main effect of a thunderstorm, like one is the hailstones. Now hails means like they are like ice crystals, right? They are frozen rain droplets. Okay, what happens is that like during a thunderstorm we will be having upward moving wind. Okay, now when the wind moves upward, it will be carrying the moisture, the water vapor, towards the upper atmosphere. Now as the height increases, the temperature of the atmosphere comes down. Think about this, a coastal plain or a hilly region, right? Which one is more warmer? Or generally a plain and a hilly region, right? A hill station. Hill station will be much cooler, right? And the plain will be much warmer than the hill station. As it means like, as we go upward, the temperature decreases. Now think about this line, you can see here, beyond that we are having the freezing level, in the sense the temperature is below 0 degrees Celsius. So when the water vapor is going beyond this freezing level, it becomes ice crystals. Okay, now when the in cumulonimbus cloud, if you are having rainfall, right, rainfall coming downward, this rainfall will be carried upward, right? Why? Because we are having the uplifting mechanism, right? Upward moving wind is there. So this upward moving wind will be carrying the rain droplets further to the upper atmosphere. Now as it goes upward, what happens is that it's below the freezing point. Okay, so the rain droplet, which is in the liquid form, right, which it will start to condense, it will start to solidify, right, and it will be resulting in the formation of ice formations. So the rain droplets, as they go upward, they solidify and form frozen ice, right? Now imagine this, they are further coming downward, right? Again, this upward moving wind will be carrying this ice crystals, right, further into the upper atmosphere. So it's kind of a shutter movement, right? As it goes up, it's coming down, again it's going up. So this process continues, and the size of this ice crystal grows, and this we call it as hail, or you can say hailstone, right? And it causes huge destruction to the agriculture. It destroys, it destroys the standing crops, as well as it can cause threat to life. So one of the major impact or effect of a thunderstorm is that since we are having upward moving wind associated with the thunderstorms, it can result in hailstorms. Okay, and the next one is the thunderstorm. Next one is the dust storms. Okay, now imagine a condition where we are not having warm moisture air, or like the amount of the moisture is not sufficient. Just imagine that particular condition, right? In that scenario, right, this particular wave formation, right, the uplifting mechanism, if you are having more increased temperature, the convection will take place and the air will be moving up. If you are having insufficient amount of moisture, this process can result in dust storms, right? It will uplift the dry air from the arid as well as semi-arid regions into the upper atmosphere, right? And all of this dust will be falling in some other place, and that process we call it as dust storms. So simply, dust storms means thunderstorms with forming in the absence of atmospheric moisture, and that we call it as dust storms. Okay, now the next effect of thunderstorm is the squall winds. Now this is another term which we see frequently in news, right? So this simply means like the squall winds, it means like wind which is increasing its speed all of a sudden, and that we call it as squall winds. Usually the squall winds, they are associated with thunderstorms, dust storms, tropical cyclones, all such storm events. They are, the squall winds are associated with it, right? This term means like the increase in the speed of the wind all of a sudden, and that we call it as squall wind, right? So the main effect of the thunderstorms, they are hailstones, like the dust storms, as well as the squall winds. Okay, moving on to the thunderstorms in India. Okay, in India's case, we are having more thunderstorm frequency over the northeastern regions, as well as we are having thunderstorms over the central India regions. Okay, now there is this term which you have to keep in mind, which is nor'wester, or it's also called as Kail Baishagi, which are evening thunderstorms, right? They are very dreaded evening thunderstorms which are taking place in Assam as well as Bengal regions. Okay, now in India we are having two separate weather events which are called as, like, say, western disturbance as well as easterly waves. Now recently, right, we have found thunderstorms as well as dust storms in India, and now if you are going through the articles, right, one of the reasons behind their formation was attributed to the western disturbance as well as easterly waves. So let's take a look at how does this western disturbance as well as the easterly waves influence the formation of thunderstorms. Now during a western disturbance means it's coming from the west, and it's a low pressure system, and it will be carrying moisture from the Mediterranean, Caspian regions towards the northwestern regions of India. Okay, so what happens is that the western disturbance is providing moisture for the formation of thunderstorms. We have found that moisture is one of the important factor necessary for the formation of thunderstorm. Okay, at the same time, during the pre-monsoon period, the land will be very hot, especially in these regions. Okay, so what happens is that, like, due to high temperature in Rajasthan as well as this Punjab Haryana regions, right, the convective currents will take place, and along with that, the moisture provided by the western disturbance will result in the formation of thunderstorms. Now same can be said, like, in this, same influence is there in the case of easterly waves. Now easterly waves, right, from the name itself, easterly means they are coming from east, going towards the west, and western disturbance, they are coming from west going to the east, right? All the winds, they are named according to from where they are starting. Okay, so easterly waves, they are moving from east to west, right, generally, right, very broadly, and this will be carrying the moisture from the Bay of Bengal region towards the Indian subcontinent, right, and that can also result in the formation of thunderstorms. So you should remember that the western disturbance as well as the easterly waves, they bring moisture to the already heated up land, and that can result in the thunderstorms. So the recent formation of thunderstorms which affected or which caused huge destruction in India, right, especially in the northern India, was attributed to this moisture carried by the western disturbance as well as the easterly waves. Okay, so these are the things which you have to keep in mind regarding thunderstorms. Now let's go back to the question and solve the prelims model question, right? So this is a 3-statement question. The first one, in the absence of sufficient moisture, a thunderstorm can generate dust storm, which is true, right? As you have already seen, like, in the absence of moisture, the thunderstorm can generate dust storms, right? Dust storms, they are nothing but the upward moving wind will be carrying all the dust, right? All the fine dust particles will be carried upward, right? And they will be settling down in some other place which can cause huge destruction, right? Now the second one, in northern India, moisture brought by western disturbance, a system of low pressure, aids the formation of thunderstorms, which is again true, right? Western disturbance as well as easterly waves, right, they bring the moisture towards the northern India, and that can result in the formation of thunderstorms. Now this statement is the reason behind the recent thunderstorms and dust storm events which caused destruction in northern India. Now the third statement, right, squall winds and dust storms are usually associated with thunderstorms, which is again true, right? Squall winds means winds which are having increasing speed, right? Which all of a sudden the winds which are increasing in speed, that we call it as squall wind. And hailstorms means when the water vapor, right, when the rain droplets, when they carry towards the upper atmosphere, they will freeze, and that can result in, they will grow in size and they will fall to the ground, resulting in hailstorms, right? So here answer will come out as D, which is 1, 2 and 3.